Budget hard Hydra team coming up. What is going on, Raiders? Soda Dragon here, bringing you a budget team for rotation 3 of the Hydra. In case you guys don't know, this rotation is a pain. We have the Head of Decay, which cleanses all debuffs from the Hydra heads, and we have the Head of Wrath, which is a DPS monster. So 2 very difficult heads to deal with simultaneously. So unfortunately, I won't be able to demonstrate the run for you guys. I got a little confused with some of the dupes that I had, and I accidentally consumed the key. So guys, here's a screenshot here. This is literally the best I can give you, but I'll explain the team to you and who I'm using. So this is on hard, so 14 million. I think if you have the right gear, then yeah, you can 1 key hard. And obviously, if we can do this much on hard, then we can easily 1 key normal. So who is on the team? Well, some of you guys may be able to recognize the characters. I'm running double Geos, Aox, Achak, Seal of the Drakes, and Painkeeper. So I would say pretty budget team, considering the only legendary here is one you get for free. And if you guys want more budget than this, don't worry, I'm working on it. So we'll start by looking at the primary Hydra heads that we'll be dealing with, then we'll go through everyone's gear stats and masteries. So guys, let's start off here with the Head of Decay. This is the head that is on the very far left. This guy is so annoying. He has a team-wide cleanse, plus he has a single target cleanse, plus shield, which they call life barrier, but it's a shield. So how does my team deal with this head? Well, you try not to place your cooldown debuffs right before the head is going to cleanse. That is that team-wide cleanse. The single target cleanse I'm not too concerned about, but that team-wide cleanse, you definitely want to keep an eye on that counter. Plus, Seal of the Drakes plays a very important role here. She is always attacking that Head of Decay with her A1 to try to land that strong version, decreased speed. It's very important to slow down the Head of Decay. Next up, guys, is the Head of Blight. I think this guy's second to the left. He is the poison head. So how does my team deal with this guy? Well, with regard to the A2 Leeching Blight, that is that AoE with all those poisons, we're going to use Achak. Achak has a block debuffs buff that he can put up right before this goes out, therefore avoiding all those poisons from landing. So how do we deal with Blinding Smog here, which puts up that poison cloud? As you guys know, if you weak hit, you do not land your debuffs, and that's true like 99.9% of the time, unless you have Contra the Cyclone. She's probably the only exception. So how do we counter the poison cloud? Well, firstly, with those double Geos, we can land the HP burns from Geo even through the poison cloud, because Geo just places his HP burn. He actually doesn't hit. Therefore, he cannot weak hit. Therefore, he cannot fail to land that debuff because of a weak hit. The only way he can fail to land his debuff is if he doesn't have enough accuracy. And remember, guys, once those heads are HP burned, even if they still have poison cloud, the HP burn effectively cancels out that poison cloud. So you can attack those heads just like normal, and you should land debuffs like normal. And another secret weapon for this rotation is Aox. He is great because he can land his decreased attack without hitting. That means he just places it, just like Geo just places that HP burn. Really good against the Head of Wrath, even if that poison cloud is up. You can still land that decreased attack. Next up, guys, we got the Head of Suffering, the tankiest head out of all the Hydra heads. So what do I do with this head? Well, we basically ignore him. Sometimes this head will put up ally protection along with a reflect damage buff on himself. Now, I do remove the reflect damage buff with the Geos, but as far as ally protection, I don't really care about it that much. Achak's Strengthen also counters this head's weaken, so that's another benefit of Achak as well. And lastly, guys, we got the Head of Wrath, a super hard hitting head that also provokes. Alright guys, the way this boss works is every 15 times he takes damage, and this includes ticks of HP burns, he will counterattack with a really hard AoE and self-buff with Vengeance. So Vengeance increases this head's damage, and this Vengeance buff cannot be prevented, so you cannot put a block buffs debuff on this boss and prevent it. And this buff cannot be removed either, so you cannot strip it. But there are other buffs this boss has that we do want to strip. So for example, that increased attack buff, that block debuffs buff, and also that reflect damage buff. When those are up, yeah, we want to try to strip them with the Geos. So in general, I try not to target this boss too often, though with the Geos having an A1 that is an AoE, getting a certain number of hits is unavoidable. But Aox comes in big for this boss, being able to apply that strong version decreased attack even through the poison cloud. And all these bosses hits are AoEs, really good for Aox and his passive, being able to extend debuffs when he's hit. So as you guys can see on the very left, if the Head of Torment pops up, that's going to give you trouble for this team, especially considering there is no Cleanser and no Shemael. And since the Geos have an AoE A1, hitting that Head of Torment is unavoidable for them. But in any case, guys, I think this is a pretty good budget team, and Achak, man, he is really good for the Hydra. For some reason, nobody but me uses him, and I think people are sleeping on him. he's really good for the Hydra. Alright guys, on to everyone's gear stats and masteries, starting with Seal of the Drake. So how have I geared her? I have her in a Relentless set and an Immortal set. On to her total stats. So her HP I have at 71,000, I have the attack at 1,700, defense 3,000, speed 177, crit rate 38%, crit damage 148%, resist 222, and accuracy 259. Onto our masteries. So down the offense tree here, I do have War Master, so we're getting bonus damage based off enemy max HP. And down the support tree here, we want to get these 3 masteries on the left side of the support tree here to increase her passive healing. Plus down at the bottom here, we do have Spirit Haste, so she's going to get a speed boost when her allies die. And also here we have Sniper, so this increases the chances of her landing her A1 decrease speed debuff. Really, really important for the Head of Decay. Next up guys is Achak. So how have I geared him? I have him in 2 Immortal sets and an Accuracy set. Onto his total stats. So his HP I have at 59,000. I have his attack at 1,800, defense 3,700, speed 177, crit rate 48%, crit damage 152%, resist 181, and accuracy 162. Onto his masteries. So down the offense tree here, we do have War Master, so we're getting bonus damage based off enemy max HP, really good for bosses. And down the support tree here, just like Seal of the Drakes, I am running the 3 masteries here on the left side of the support tree to increase Achak's passive healing. Plus here we do have Lasting Gifts, so this potentially extends Achak's buffs by 1 turn, so he has that Strengthen buff and that Block debuffs buff. And here we have Master Hexer to potentially extend the duration of his HP burn. So since Achak can only burn 1 of the Hydra heads, it may be easy to forget that he can HP burn at all. But don't forget, yes he can, against that Head of Suffering. So definitely use his HP burn against the Head of Suffering when that Poison Cloud is down. Next up guys, we got Achak. So how have I geared him? I have him in a Relentless set and an Immortal set. Onto his total stats. So his HP I have at 47,000, I have the attack at 2,300, defense 2,400, speed 184, crit rate 25%, crit damage 90%, resist 138, and accuracy 278. Onto his masteries. So down the offense tree here, we do have War Master, so we're getting bonus damage based off enemy max HP. And down the support tree here, we do have Sniper, so this is to increase the chance of him landing his A1 strong version poison. And here we do have Master Hexer as well, so we're potentially extending his debuffs. So his decreased attack, his decreased crit rate, and his poisons, we're potentially extending them 1 more turn. Onto the Geos, I have them both geared the same. So how have I geared them? I have them in a Relentless set and an Immortal set. So guys, for any of the champs that you see me running Relentless, if you don't have good Relentless gear yet, it's okay, you can run Reflex gear, and Reflex is farmable. So that is another good choice for you if you don't have good Relentless gear. Onto his total stats. So his HP is at 46,000. I have the attack at 2,400, defense 2,800, speed 210, crit rate 41%, crit damage 110%, resist 185, and accuracy 310. Onto his masteries. So down the offense tree here, we do have War Master, so we're getting bonus damage based off enemy max HP. And down the support tree, we do have Sniper here, so this is to increase the chance of him landing his A1 decreased accuracy. And here we do have Master Hexer, so this is to potentially extend his debuffs 1 more turn. And lastly guys, we've got Painkeeper here, decreasing the cooldowns of everyone's skills and healing. So how have I geared her? I have her in a Relentless and Immortal set, though I've used her in Reflex and it works pretty well too. Onto her total stats. So her HP I have at 79,000, I have the attack at 2,100, defense 1,700, speed 174, crit rate 39%, crit damage 134%, resist 214, and accuracy 91. Her healing is based off her max HP, so make her max HP as high as possible to get big heals. Onto her masteries. So down the offense tree here, we do have War Master, so we're getting bonus damage based off enemy max HP. And we're getting bonus healing with the left side of the support tree here. Plus we are going with Spirit Haste here, so she gets a speed boost when her allies die. Now we did go here with Kill Streak, but this is just because there's pretty much no other mastery that you really want to put in this tier 5. So really, whatever, it's up to you. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope I've given you some good ideas on how to build a budget team for the hard Hydra. You guys have seen my gear, my stats, right? Not that great. Think about what you guys can do with this team with better gear. In any case, guys, I will be working on more budgety type stuff for the Hydra, so stay tuned. And if you guys haven't yet, like, subscribe, and share. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.